Hi everyone, this is Dawn here today with the fourth teaching in the 7-part series on sacred partnerships. As a reminder, what I'm sharing with you is based in conversations that I've had with Jesus to really try to get a grip on what is this sacred partnership, sacred union path really about. So I'm just sharing these with you chapter by chapter, sort of as I kind of put down the rough ideas from my notes. And I will come back and refine this and either share it. I'm not sure what format yet, if it'll be a more refined video series or if it'll be in book form, but just working on it slowly as I can and sharing it with you as I go. So I hope that you find benefit from this series. This is the fourth teaching, and it is on mirroring and accelerated soul growth. It's really about sacred partnership and the journey to soulful transformation. So in any relationship, there's the opportunity to learn from the other as a mirror or to reject it outright, finding fault and resorting to deflection or condemnation. In sacred partnerships, this rejection is no longer an option. Neither is the surface level avoidance of what is clearly pricking some unhealed wound or touching a deeper soul desire. All behavior, character traits, and irritations mirrored in the other becomes a reflection that leads us deeper into self-awareness and knowing. The sacred other lovingly shows us, by simply being who they are, where we would resort to egoic judgments and douse others or ourselves in shame. Granted, this is the point at which the faint of heart in any relationship begins to question whether it's all worth it. If one chooses to embrace the merry-go-round cycle of thoughts that reiterate all the negatives, soon the entire relationship is turned into a downward spiral. The negativity goes round and round until one opts out emotionally or both turn bitter and love is lost. In true sacred partnerships, the deep commitment to honoring of the self and the partner, along with the third energy created between the two, means that all that arises must be seen and met with honor and appreciation. Easier said than done, of course. As we bring the focus of our attention back to our soul's growth and seek to see and know ourselves more clearly within a sacred union, we choose the road less traveled that leads us to treasures of the soul. Refusing to take the easy way out of either turning a blind eye to that which disturbs us or alternatively reducing the relationship to a game of blame and shame, we instead choose patient presence and the path of soulful transformation. The sacred partnership itself becomes an invitation and initiation into the mysteries and the miracles of the eternal soul. Our partnership with another is no longer reduced to a role or a convenience for navigating the challenges of modern life. Rather, it opens into a vast field with ever-changing landscapes meant for exploration, for learning, and for growing back toward the ground of God. The responsibility of each individual within the union is to ask continuously 3 key questions. 1, how am I growing in this situation that I am seeing or experiencing? 2, what am I being asked to learn through this experience I am having? And 3, how will I choose to expand rather than contract with my partner and with myself? In sacred partnership, we vow to walk together and to grow together through all experience. We dare to enter into a way of being together that is alive and ever in formation, even as it is our resting place. I loved this part when Jesus was explaining it to me. I want to do more to capture more here, just a little aside, because he was showing me how it's both and. So it's alive, growing, and we're always in formation and learning more and growing closer together. And we are also in our resting place in a sacred union. And that was very beautiful to me. So I'm going to explore that a little bit more. Just wanted to mention that. So Yes, we dare to enter into a way of being together that is alive and ever in formation, even as it is our resting place. We pledge to create room, giving time and space for ourselves and the other to do the work of soul exploration. We tend to our own soul's garden and practice loving acceptance of the other, taking care not to appoint ourselves as caretaker of the other's ground of being. The constant mirroring in the closest of unions, where two souls have agreed to learn together, is a path to accelerated soul growth and transformation. There are many ways this growth unfolds. Soul purpose. In sacred partnership, we find ourselves growing toward the greater cultivation of our soul's purpose. Because we are not focused on the other as a project, we get to be with ourselves. This often leads to the discovery of our unique gifts and perspectives that we can bring forward and share, both within the partnership and with the greater world. So to benefit the whole of humanity, which is why many of us are here. Interestingly, these gifts are often revealed as mirroring leads us to exploring the territory of our souls. As we commit to loving ourselves, we naturally embody greater compassion for the other. So that first area was all about soul purpose and really understanding why we're here. The second area is shared support and mission. In some relationships, but not all, there may be a shared mission and a further opportunity to examine how those our own gifts intersect with the gifts of our partner. The experience of learning to honor each other's gifts and bring them forward in harmony is itself a transformative one. We learn more about who we are underneath our human persona. We touch the beauty of our souls and discover it is safe to let our authentic self be seen. The container of unconditional love provides a nourishing, nurturing environment for growing into the fullness of our soul gifts and expressing them uniquely in the world. The third area is redefining roles. In sacred partnership, many of us find ourselves growing toward the redefinition of roles, or better yet, releasing these roles altogether. There is the opportunity to completely transform the relationship itself and, in time, our society by releasing all expectation and attachment to specific roles we have been conditioned to play within relationship. This growth is spurred on by frequent challenges to such expansion. When either partner falls back into preconditioned patterning, both are presented with the opportunity of how they will respond or whether then they will simply react, thereby further reinforcing the undesirable and outworn ways of being in relationship. Likewise, the choice to release preconceptions about one's role within relationship provokes an opportunity for growth and expansion from within for both parties. Sacred partnerships offer a whole new way forward for you and for our world by creating a safe and honoring space for us to grow our souls as we love one another without condition. The way we are opening up for ourselves and for others by entering into a sacred union is made more stable as the two partners choose to meet all that is mirrored to them by the partner with a spirit of non-judgment and even welcome. As each beloved dares to greet the undesirable thing as invitation into further wholeness and soul unification, the miracle of life unfolds. We grow our roots, we spread our wings. This fourth of the 7 hallmarks of sacred partnership, mirroring and the path to soulful transformation, corresponds with the fourth of the 7 wonders of the soul, which is healing. We open up a flow within our heart chakra, the fourth of 7 primary chakras or energy centers in the human body. Our individual and mutual alignment to the attributes of healing supports us as we accept the gifts of mirroring for accelerated soul growth and make the journey to soulful transformation. Thereby opening up a whole new way of seeing ourselves, a whole new way of being ourselves, and a whole new way of freeing ourselves in the context of sacred union. Then I want to share, as a part of this, the transformation map, which is a life system to connect to your essential truth. This comes from my book, All Systems Go. I'll put a link to that below. To support you as you make your journey to soulful transformation, consider the 8 momentum action pathways below that comprise a map for you. So if you haven't heard me talk about these before, these 8 pathways, they're multidimensional, and you can connect with any one. Think of them as entry points into this particular path. And in this case, we're talking about soulful transformation. So it's transformation of your life, but it's also the transformation journey itself that you are here to make as a soul. So it's kind of both and. You are being transformed and you are bringing transformation. So these 8 pathways are designed as points of reconnection to the essential truth that lies at your core. And that truth is that you are, as you are, whole and complete in the very mirror of God's love. And I want to say that God's love encompasses all. As you consider these pathways, open your heart to this question: how can I reconnect, reclaim, restore, and realize wholeness in every aspect of my life's experience? The transformation map system is the 21st of 24 dynamic and sustainable solar systems. And again, it's from All Systems Go. Okay, so here are the 8 momentum action pathways. 1, stand in the stream of your life and find your forward flow. So I'm going to flesh out each of these, so I'll just speak to them quickly as I go through. This is really about being centered in the flow of your life, and as you stand and become the observer and see all of what is, don't turn a blind eye to anything, whether it's in that relationship dynamic or in your life. So stand in the center, in the stream of your life, and that is how you find your forward flow. 2, embrace the knowing and the not knowing, the mystery and the miracle. I think that one's pretty self-evident. 3, ask for the miracle. Ask for the miracle and make way for the river of miracles to unfold in your life and in your partnership. Consider the possibility that you are the miracle, that we together, the two, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, we are the miracle. And in the asking for the miracle, it's really a coming more fully home to the whole of who we are individually first, in that union within, and then together. And then in the third energy that is created and growing back toward the ground of God. So 1 is stand in the stream of your life. 2, embrace the knowing and the not knowing. 3, ask for the miracle. 4, practice spacious surrender day by day. And I think we kind of touched on in what I've shared some of the ways that we do that within the context of the union, day by day. So I'm sure those of you who are in some form of interrelatedness, or actually living together and in the physical, in union with your divine counterpart, could speak to the practice of that, because I'm quite sure that it requires that constant attention and bringing yourself back. So practicing spacious surrender. And those of us who are not yet in our sacred divine unions we don't need to wait. We can practice that spacious surrender every single day with ourselves, because that will bring us into greater and greater harmony with our whole self and our soul self, and it will lead us to the path of soulful transformation. I'm glad I spoke to that. I want to mention that if the path to soulful transformation is happening everywhere all the time, and the sacred partnership is one way, one vehicle to greater transformation from within, radiant expansion from within, but it's always happening. So 4 is practice spacious surrender. 5, cultivate the seeds of essence planted within you, trusting that they were entrusted to you and only you, because you and only you come bearing these particular fine gifts of original design. So you are responsible for cultivating the gifts within you. And while you may have a shared mission, shared soul purpose with your divine partner, it is also true that you are responsible for the cultivation of those gifts that are entrusted to you as an individual. 6, experience grace. Practice loving kindness. Come to understand what it is to be held in an infinite grace and begin to practice the presence of God. I think the more that I have reflected on some of these conversations about sacred partnership and sacred union, what I've come to see is that's what we're doing. We're bringing heaven to earth, and we are practicing the presence of God. We are becoming that one with. We are one with it, but we are expressing our solidarity with all that is, and we are bringing it forward. So how do we do that? We do that by allowing ourselves to experience love, unconditional, and grace, and by noticing and bearing witness to all that is, and in so doing, we practice the presence of God. 7, release day by day all that is no longer needed and open your heart to receive gifts, guidance, and gracious presence. So there's that releasing, receiving, and that is a part of the transformation of your soul and the soulful transformation you bring to the world. It's a constant standing in the stream of your life and allowing yourself to release what is no longer needed and receive gifts, guidance, and gracious presence. And who do you receive that from? You receive it from yourself. You receive it from God and the angelic realm. You receive it from your sacred partner. And 8, walk in the way of your life, trusting that the way is always opening up. That, if you've heard me speak before, is of course my favorite teaching that Jesus gave us, in just the way he lived his life. And also I'm really seeing how for a long time, this whole sacred partnership path, and in particular, I'll use the words twin flame, and in particular that rigorous journey in terms of sacred union it seemed to me, I didn't get how that in and of itself was walking in the way of my life for many years. And I've been on this journey for quite some time, as many of you know. And that has been the gift of the last few years for me, is understanding that the outcome is secondary, and that it is walking in the way of my life every step, no matter where this journey takes me. So while what I'm sharing here is about sacred partnerships and the two dancing together, essentially it's always a dance, whether the other is in front of you or not, whether the other is even in this 3D reality or not. And I believe most twin flames are, but in terms of sacred partnership, or also whether you're physically separated or not, and whether you even know who that sacred partner is yet or not. You're always being invited through the path of sacred partnership to walk in the way of your life and to trust that the way is always opening up. So that was the 4th teaching, which again was all about allowing that mirror of the other to lead you into a path of accelerated soul growth, sacred partnership, and the journey to soulful transformation. I'll be back with the 5th teaching at some point, late June or July. Many blessings to each of you. Lots of love.